Alright guys, welcome to another G Auto Repair YouTube video. And today we are dealing with this 2011 Ford Fusion. Several complaints, but one of the main complaints is that the AC is not cooling, is not working. It's actually blowing some really hot air. So we're gonna go ahead and check that out. And we're gonna, for the sake of this video, we're gonna concentrate on that. And we're gonna go ahead and I kind of did a quick preliminary check already before I grabbed the camera. So I pretty much know that it's not gonna be a system charge problem, because the low pressure line is getting nice and cold. Now we may have a little bit of pressure issues. I haven't put a gauge or anything on there yet, but right now it's actually cooling. See, before it was blowing some really hot air, but the line was cold. Now it's blowing cold air, and I'm thinking that my issue is going to be somewhere in the temperature door, the actuator, or the door is getting stuck or something, because it was like you had the heater on, even though this was on the cold side. So either something is out of calibration, or these actuators are giving issues. So let me go ahead and put this back in the cold, see if it goes back to cold. And of course it is right now. Now it did that, and then all of a sudden, boom, it was like you would turn on the heater, it would go straight to hot. So I'm convinced that my problem is going to be underneath the dash. Now what it is, I don't know yet. I haven't gotten that far. So see, right there is changing. Yep, see, right there is blowing hot air. Might be the control head here or something, I'm not sure. I'm probably gonna have to put a scanner on this to see if I got any codes or see what the PIDs are. So right now I have heat coming out of the vents, but if I go here, I have cold temperature here on the low side. So my compressor's working, I got a charge. May not be the right charge. I know the customer told me that they added a little bit of refrigerant. How much, I don't know. Now I do see something suspicious here. Oily residue. This cap seems to be oily. So maybe we have a leak here at the service port. Yeah, it looks like something's going on here. I'm not sure. I don't see no bubbles or anything, but definitely this is covered in dye and oil. So we may have a slow leak there. Everything else seems to be working fine. The fan is working. The compressor is obviously working. This tube is getting nice and cold. You can see the condensation starting to form. We definitely want to put those caps in there. If you're watching this video and you're not too familiar with these caps and their purpose, the issue with these caps is that's actually the primary seal of the system. Yes, you have a Schrader valve and it's supposed to seal up, but those caps have a rubber ring around in the base of it, and that is supposed to be the primary seal of the AC system. So if those caps are gone, obviously you will have some refrigerant loss. Those valves really don't seal 100%. Nothing really seals 100%. There's an acceptable allowance in loss of refrigerant over year, and I forget what that number is, but it's so small that it's pretty much undetectable. So let me go ahead and put the scan tool on there, see what we got going on, and see what the issue is with the system. Okay, so we are connected to the vehicle. We're gonna go ahead and do a full system scan real quick. Now I'm using the Autel Ultra, really fast tool. Some message came up there and I didn't see what it was. Lost communication with radio. lost communication. Time. Okay, so nothing seemed, no codes associated with the HVAC or anything of that sort. So let's just go ahead and go into HVAC. There's no codes. Let's take a look at some live data. This AC is acting kind of crazy. It seems to be swapping between cold and hot, hot and cold on its own. So I'm wondering if maybe there is an input show all. Let me bring this window up. See, now it just shifted on its own. Why did it do? Why does it do that? It seems to be reading correctly. Alright, is there a PID for this input? That's what I want to see. And I don't see nothing as of now. Maybe it's in another different module or something. Let's go to active test. Recirculating servo, air mode, blend door position. Okay, let's just... This thing has a mind of its own. As long as I control it, tell it to go to cold, it will stay in cold. But once I exit out of this, it just kind of does whatever it wants to do. And it won't let me go to hot. See? Test aborted, request out of range. So now my question is this an actuator problem? Or is it a control module problem? Let me see here. Let's go back to live data. See if it's in warm now again. And it did that all on its own. Evaporator. See, and now it's at 67%. This is kind of crazy. Why is it bouncing around like that? Oh, the other modules show system voltage. Why is that one getting kind of silly? I don't know if that might be a clue. Okay, now I'm gonna control it here normally. Now we're gonna go back. It's gone back to cold. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some little bit of research on this here. See if there's some kind of bulletin or something before I get all crazy with this. See, it just went to warm on its own. Yeah, this thing has a mind of its own. Okay. So give me a few minutes and let me see what I can find. Alright guys, so just a quick update. I started tearing this apart, which was a mission within itself. That's probably gonna be a whole nother video. But as simple as that task seemed, there was a thing in the way, and it just became a whole thing. So it kind of frustrated me a little bit. But anywho, I was ready to go ahead and, based on what I saw on the scan tool, which I still have connected back there, based on what I saw and the PIDs that I was looking at, I was pretty set on a bad control head or AC module. So I was pretty much, that's the path I was going to, and that still may be the case. But I like to do a little bit of research, especially when condemning a control module. I like to, I haven't checked powers and grounds, which I know they're okay because obviously it's communicating, it's working. I don't suspect a power and ground problem. It's telling the actuator to revert back to warm, because it goes to cold, it goes to hot, but when you put it on cold, it tends to just wander back to warm, and that's when you start getting the warm air. By the way, right now it's blowing nice and cold. It is freezing in here actually, and I decided to do some research online and whatnot, and I found several pieces of information. This was one of them. I heard about a bulletin. I was unable to find a bulletin in my repair information program, Mitchell, for this problem. I was unable, based on this year, make, model, I was unable to find a bulletin in their list. Again, I've seen that before, to where there is a bulletin and it doesn't pop up there for whatever reason, but I didn't find a bulletin there. So I did some more research, and I've heard a couple people about a trick, turning on the lights, putting this on the second click, and several other little tricks to do. Surprisingly, the light trick worked. I have it off right now, but sure enough, when the AC is hot, if I turn any of these lights on, whether the park, the headlights, pull the fog light, all that shebang, within a minute it starts to blow cold. So that kind of piqued my interest. I was like, huh, that's weird. I've never seen that before. But apparently it's a thing, because I read some online threads and stuff like that were talking about that. And I did find this online, not pro demand, but online, about that the same issue. AC will blow warm intermittently, and it says to reprogram or reflash the control module, because I also read that people went ahead and changed the control unit thinking that was the case, and it kept doing the thing. So most of those people used a junkyard part, which is what I would have tried to do at first. I haven't priced a new one out yet, but they would swap it out and it will continue to do the problem. Now, the issue with using junkyard modules, and anything in the junkyard really, if it's a common failure, chances are you could end up with a bad part. It's happened to me before. I've swapped, ABS modules and stuff with the same identical problem. And I don't want to run into that, because I'll be spinning my tires, wasting time, and time is money. But I was like ready to condemn the module. I said, no, this has got to be a module. That module's going crazy. What I'm still questioning is that, why am I getting 15.6 volts here when the system voltage is showing 14.1? And just about every other module is showing that except for this one. So I don't know if that's a clue, but it's definitely, I think it's definitely module related, but I don't know if a reflash will fix it, or do we have to put a new one. I'm now apprehensive about putting a used junkyard module, because again, if it's a common problem, chances are I'm probably gonna get a bad module, and it's gonna be an ongoing thing. Oh, swap it out until I get a good one. I don't want to run into that. Again, it also depends on how much a new one is. So What I'll probably end up doing is checking to see if there's an update on the programming, and if there is, based on what I've read here, I'm probably just gonna go ahead and have it reprogrammed or reflash, and see if that fixes the problem. I'm actually waiting for it to get hot because I turned off the light and it's still pretty cold. So, you know, it's definitely something crazy. I'm convinced that it's not an actuator problem because it's working. It goes, the readings show, it sweeps and everything. So the module is telling it what to do, and the module, I think, is going crazy and it's telling him to do something that we don't want it to do. Or maybe there's an erroneous input here from these knobs or something, but I don't have a PID to check that. So that part there is going to be near impossible for me to corroborate. But I think the programming is a good start, at least, and we'll see what happens. I'll have to get with the customer, explain to him what I found, what I suspect, see if he approves that, at least to check to see if the software is out of date. If it is, then obviously we should program it. So that would be my next step. Obviously it's too late to do that now. I'll have to do that tomorrow. It's already past 6, and that time is wrong there. So that's what I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and do. Again, this whole pulling this out is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I'll probably just do a video just in case somebody has a problem out there. They can know how to remove this. It's not difficult once you know what to look for. They decided to put a plastic strap from here to down here, right there on the base of the steering column, and that's what was holding. It was loose, it was just wouldn't come out. So I was like, what's going on here? I was ready to, you know, go smack down on it. So, but anyways, that's a different can of worms there. So all right, you guys stay tuned, and we'll see what happens, and I'll keep you posted here shortly. All right, guys, so we're back with the Fusion, and just to give an update, unfortunately the owner did not wish to go through with the reprogramming because of cost. The only other option that I see, other than doing all that trickery and all that mumbo jumbo, is to disable the actuator. So as you can see here, I have disabled the actuator in the cold position. It is very cold in here, by the way. It is about 30 something degrees. I would say more like 40. I think this thing is about almost 10 degrees off or something like that. But just to give you guys a visual of what I did is I just forced the thing to go to cold, and then I just simply disconnected the actuator, which is that one right there, this first bottom one. You should be able to see. I'm sorry, I'm kind of in a bad position here. You should see the connector disconnected there. So that's all I did. Waited for the thing to go to cold, full cold, disconnected, and so far so good. It should not move anymore from there. So that's just a low price point solution that was given. Of course, they will have no control over the heat. But down here in South Florida, what's important really is the AC. We don't have no brutal winters or anything like that. And as a matter of fact, the 1 or 2 days out of the year that is really cold, okay, throw on a jacket, you're fine. So heat down here is not an important thing. Up north, yeah, up north you have those bad winters, so yeah, you're gonna need your heat, but not in South Florida. So they opted for that. I wish they would have went with the program to see if it would have fixed the issue. I wish I had a better answer for you guys to satisfy that curiosity. I don't. I apologize. But if you are going through this situation, this may be an option for you. If you don't care about the heat or whatnot, this could be an option for you guys. Or technically speaking, once the winter comes around, you plug it back in, you throw it in the hot, and you're good. You know, I didn't test to see if it goes from full hot to warm or anything like that. Again, I was concentrating on the AC part. The AC is very important down here in South Florida. So but as you can see now, I have codes for the blend door actuator. That's to be expected because I have it disconnected, and I don't think it'll move back or anything like that. So we're gonna consider this a partial or a temporary remedy for the problem. If they do decide to fix it the right way in the future, I guess I'll do a follow-up video or something like that. I don't foresee that happening. Well, what happens is that these people, you know, they pretty much live in Dominican Republic, and they're kind of to and from. So all their money comes from Dominican Republic. Once you do the conversion over to USD, it's a big loss for them. So I understand. I guess I can understand. So we're gonna go ahead and just keep it as this. This car has other issues that they do want to address. You know, the window is like goes down on its own, so that regulator is probably shot, and other little small things that need to be fixed. So all right guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next video. Ciao.